God.
Today's the big day. You need a ride, good looking?
Maybe.
Oh yeah, where are you going?
Lake Shawnee Amusement Park.
They say a storm's a-comin', a dark and stormy night. There's something living in the mountains, something calling from the skies. I guess one might just say it's a weird and wonderful life. When you share your home with monsters, Mothman and the Bigfoot too, you'd better watch out where you're going, golly gobbler might get you. You can run, but you can't hide from this weird and wonderful life.
Originally the site of an ancient native burial ground, and later the site of a horrible massacre where children were burned alive, you might think Lake Shawnee would be the last place someone would build an amusement park. But you'd be wrong. Opening in 1926, in the 39 short years of its operation, the Lake Shawnee Amusement Park claimed the lives of 6 park-goers before closing its gates for good. Now, it's considered one of the most haunted places in the world.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes. So we've been having a lot of thunderstorms in West Virginia the last 2 weeks, including last night. So though it's supposed to be relatively cool today, a balmy 80 degrees, we have 100% humidity.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we're going to melt.
So we're basically swimming through the air at Lake Shawnee today. It also does mean that when it drops down to 60 tonight, everything's going to get wet. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be fun. Because we're camping.
We are going to camp.
I don't know if you guys know that yet, but we are camping.
We are doing the overnight. We're going to camp it up.
Yeah. I mean, tents.
Tents, s'mores.
The whole shebang.
Yeah. It's going to be freaking wicked, man.
It should be good. As long as it's not too muddy, it should be really good.
And for those of you who are interested or curious, daytime tours at Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park are $35 per person, and the overnights are $95 per person. But there has to be a group of a minimum of 10 people. So how that works is if you don't have 10 people in your group, then you'll likely be
paired up with another group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you like a love song, baby, and I keep hitting repeat, beep, 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 beep. As we left our home for our overnight stay at Lake Shawnee, the drive was absolutely wonderful. But be warned, the closer we got to our location, wildlife became particularly abundant. Be sure to buckle up and drive safely. Or as we say in West Virginia, watch for deer.
Once we'd arrived at the park, we met up with our tour guide and owner of the property, Chris White. Chris showed us numerous sights on the property, as well as telling us plenty of unnerving stories in such an entertaining and lovable way. He was a font of information and loved sharing every bit of his knowledge. He answered any questions that we had and showed us pictures, news articles, videos, and artifacts. It was clear that he has a passion for Lake Shawnee and his family's legacy. Once the tour wrapped up, we pitched our tents and we prepared for the most important part of our trip.
Now we must dine. We're hungry. Let's find something to eat.
All right.
And this is where we ended up. And I'm so freaking hungry. I could eat a buffalo.
A biggin?
A biggin.
We're ready.
Buffalo Trails is the perfect place to feed a starving family, husband, girlfriend, Bigfoot, or whoever you're traveling with. The bison burger was a no-brainer choice for me.
This is a great burger.
But my girlfriend's ribeye with accompanying mashed potatoes and mac and cheese was the stuff of legend. If you're in the area, this is the place to eat. Also, if you're not camping out like we did, they do have cabins. We haven't stayed there yet, but if they're as nice as the food, they're amazing. Holy shit.
So good. So tender.
Yeah. That's delicious.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. It was time to return to Lake Shawnee, where we did a bit of exploring before the sun went down, mapping out the locations we wanted to investigate in the dark. Before we did that, though, there was something important we had to do first.
After giving up their dreams of running an amusement park, the owners of Lake Shawnee decided to turn a portion of the property into a mud bogging area. While bulldozing the land, the White family made a startling discovery as they found ancient Native American artifacts. They stopped their operations on the land immediately and contacted Marshall University. Upon investigation, the university discovered numerous Native American remains, but stopped their digging when they began to find the graves of children. The university estimates that there are about 3,000 bodies buried within the earth that surrounds Lake Shawnee. This stone marks the excavation site, a silent guardian over the souls who rest here. We brought a handmade offering to leave here, wanting all who may have dwelled here to know that we are peaceful guests that have come to visit their land and trying to be as respectful as possible. Many previous guests have made similar gestures, and our offering was not alone. It's in this sprawling field that 3,000 Shawnee Indians found their final resting place. Though questions still remain about what happened to the people who lived here, we found it to be nothing but utterly serene.
As the sun began to set at Lake Shawnee, it was time for us to begin our investigation. Well, you know, after roasting some marshmallows. So right now, we're walking to what our tour guide referred to as the creepy place. It's somewhere where he won't even go. He makes someone else mow that piece of land because he refuses to do it anymore. It's where 3 children are buried.
God, I feel like I'm in like a haunted corn maze or something. You know what I mean?
Our first investigation would take place at the graves of 3 settler children who were slaughtered by Shawnee people in 1783, long before this property would ever become an amusement park. While their father was off on a hunting trip, Tabitha Clay and her brothers, Ezekiel and Bartley, were doing their chores out in the fields when they were attacked by the Shawnee. Tabitha and Bartley were slain and scalped on the spot. Ezekiel was captured by the tribe and taken back to Chillicothe, Ohio, where he was burnt at the stake. Their father, Mitchell Clay, rode after them, and though he was too late to save his son, the Shawnee allowed him to take Ezekiel's remains home, where he could be buried with his siblings.
The grave marker of Bartley and Tabitha Clay. History books state that Ezekiel is also buried here, but he is not named on the gravestone. So it's said that he visits here.
We conducted an EVP session at the tombstone, but our recorders didn't capture anything. This location is mere steps from a major highway with frequent speeding traffic, so the recordings suffered from interference.
Next, we decided it would be a great time to investigate the infamous Ferris wheel, where people regularly report seeing an apparition standing on top of one of the buckets. That's when we ran into more malfunctions with our equipment, which we would find out would be a regular occurrence on this trip. But this is when it started to become relentless.
What?
Yeah.
The camera literally won't stop recording.
The camera literally won't stop. Am I like cuckoo bird? I don't know.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Is someone here trying to talk to us? Okay, we are just, I've got myself turned around here, but we're standing in front of the Ferris wheel.
yeah.
And I had just said that I didn't think we needed to stand here and do EVPs.
When we conducted our EVP session, we had some chilling discoveries.
If you're here, could you make a sound for us?
Yeah. It wasn't the frogs. It was like a deeper, like a click, almost like...
It was like somebody knocked on something or something.
It was like a clicking?
Yeah.
Like a clanking, maybe?
If you're here, could you make a sound for us? Could you tap on the Ferris wheel? Did you hear something?
I thought I heard something right, like immediately after you said it. But it didn't sound like on the Ferris wheel. It sounded like it came from behind us.
Could you tap on the Ferris wheel? What is that? Yeah, I'm recording. What the hell was that?
It sounded like footsteps, or
Yeah.
like a thump, thump?
Yeah, that was the noise I initially heard. And the phone is frozen. The phone is legitimately frozen.
Yeah, it's broke.
Like, what in the hell? We have never had a problem
With this.
with this phone. Why, it's brand new.
Steven and I had our very first drone accident today.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a strange coincidence, and I was going to tell that story, and that's when I couldn't get the camera to stop recording so that I could do what I wanted to do. So I decided to tell the story facing this way, just in case someone wants to say hello to us.
Yeah, so the funny thing is about that, it was our first drone accident. And it happened at the 9 o'clock position on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, it happened
It was like right there.
It happened right there.
And that's where they say people have caught an apparition literally just standing in the bucket.
Standing in the bucket. Not sitting,
Yeah.
standing in the bucket. And the interesting thing is our drone fell right there. It just fell right
Yeah.
there. We had to get a very large stick to knock it down out of the vines.
So right now we're going to walk over to the swing area where a little girl lost her life and see if we can't pick up some activity over there. The swing at Lake Shawnee was a popular attraction for children and brought them so much joy, but now you can't help but feel an ominous presence as you approach it. In 1966, a delivery truck backed too close to the active swings and a young girl slammed into it, dying on impact. Now, the owner of Lake Shawnee has attached a ribbon to the swing where the little girl was killed. It's reported that she likes to manipulate it, moving it in response to questions. So we tried to catch some of that activity. What in the hell is going on with this? Like, it started recording by itself again.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the phone, except for the timer, it's not recording.
I'm so confused.
That is so weird. While reviewing our footage, we noticed a dark figure seems to pass over the swings while we conducted our EVP session. Could this be the little girl trying to make contact? You tell us.
Come on, I'm more fun than this.
Give us a sign that you want to play, and we'll stick around.
It's moving again. It had stopped, and it's moving again.
Yeah, fairly significantly.
Like, I swear I'm not wrong, right? It had stopped after you...
Yeah, because it stopped right now.
It stopped again, yeah.
Yeah.
And there it goes again.
The swing is still moving.
So far, we've actually had a fairly peaceful evening. I think we're in a fairly peaceful place, but we've heard some noises, gotten a few knocks, gotten a ribbon to flutter for us. We'll see what else we can find. Okay. No way. No, please. I hope the beginning of the videos that I am catching show that they're like like starting in like really bizarre positions because it is not insignificant to me that this happens every time we arrive at a new site.
That's fucking when did it start?
I mean, right now. It's 30 seconds. Literally, I had the camera down at my side and swung it up to press play.
Press record.
To press record. Sorry. To press record. And it was already going. And it had only been going for like a second or two.
Yeah. Both the man-made pond, which served as a swimming hole in the amusement park's heyday, and the lake have seen their fair share of tragedy as well. Both claimed the lives of children over the years of the park's operation. We held EVP sessions at both of these locations, but did not detect anything of substance. Alright, we've spent the night at Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park.
On the ground, right here.
Yes.
It was cold.
Very cold.
Cold and damp.
Yep. Totally was.
But we got to listen to frogs all night.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
And no ghosties messed with us, so that was also a plus.
No ghosties messed with us or with our fellow campers. It was a quiet night.
Absolutely. Yeah. Serene place to go camping.
It was.
After breaking camp, it was time to get some breakfast. We're at the historic district in Princeton, not only because it looks really cool and is a short drive from the amusement park, but also because we hungry.
We headed to Dolly's, a local 50s style diner.
This is good breakfast and very fairly priced. To round out our trip, we decided to spend the day in the nearby town of Princeton. There's so many cool shops here, like, I think we're gonna go home broke.
Probably.
Yeah, I
saw cool stuff.
Yeah, I saw a toy shop.
An 80s
an 80s toy shop, and oof.
Isn't that a cool mural? There's a couple in the town. The Appalachian Coffee House.
Ooh.
Who doesn't love an old theater? Isn't that awesome? In honor of our veterans. Here it is.
But also closed.
Yeah, it's closed today.
Yeah, man. Alongside the many awesome shops, Princeton has a thriving artist community, making it absolutely worth the day trip. Because of course we did.
So good.
Where we at?
Now we'll make it through the day.
I love this time of year.
Yeah, me too. Can you believe it's been, 5 months now since we were at Lake Shawnee?
So since you mentioned Lake Shawnee, let's reflect on our experience there. Is there anything you would tell people who plan on going there, like travel tips wise?
I think my biggest travel tip for Lake Shawnee would be to not do the overnight.
Agreed.
I don't think it was necessary. I think, to tell you the truth, there were people who did the day tour with us, and they got to come back at night and check it out, even though they didn't pay for the overnight, so...
Agreed, and that is true, and it was...
So basically, we just paid a lot to camp, like a lot.
Yeah.
To camp. Do you have any other tips?
Mine would be definitely bring some boots.
Oh yeah,
because,
it was really muddy.
Yes, it does get muddy. Bring bug spray, it gets really buggy. And even if it's in the summer...
Which ours was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Even if it's in the summer, bring firewood.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it does get cold.
Damp.
And damp at night. How did you feel about the investigation overall? Because we did capture some stuff on EVP, and there was a shadow there.
There was, so it was interesting to come home and look at our footage and listen to it really closely and find more than we thought we had experienced that night, especially that shadow. That was really bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
It is the
only place we've experienced like major malfunctions of our equipment.
Not since.
We did have other people with us, a couple of which are incredibly sensitive, and neither of them experienced anything, but they have at other places. So it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. So would you go back?
I don't think I would. I think I feel like really complete with it. First of all, like if you haven't been, there's not a lot to see. If you want some of the great stories and I think it's a really great place to hit like once.
If you've never been there, take the day tour. That was fun. That was worth it. I'd do that again, but I don't feel like it's a place that needs further investigation whatsoever.
Agreed. What I will say is, I would love to go back to Princeton.
Oh.
Such a cute town.
It was.
The historic district is awesome, and I feel like we were exhausted after our night at Lake Shawnee. So to go there and really spend some time to look at the art galleries and check out all the little shops. There was like a honey shop, a local honey shop, Appalachian honey or something. And it was like, I want to go in there so bad.
That would be cool.
So I would do Princeton again, for sure. Buffalo Trails!
Oh my God. That place was so good, and they were so nice to us, so accommodating.
Yeah, I'd go back.
All right, is there anything else you want to say to them?
I'm just really glad we went, and I can't wait for our next adventure.
Me neither, if you're going to treat me like that.
Lake Shawnee has a long and often gruesome history. It's home to the kinds of stories that chill the blood. Tales that could be harbingers of further doom, forestalling any continued visits from the living. But it feels as though West Virginia has done what she does best. In its quiet abandonment, the land seems to have healed itself. We felt no sense of dread, no eerie disturbance, only peacefulness, only the serenity of an open meadow beside a lake, only the fascination of the rusted and abandoned detritus of the people who once played here.
Say a storm's a-comin', a dark and stormy night. There's something living in the mountains, something calling from the skies. I guess one might just say it's a weird and wonderful life. When you share your home with monsters, Mothman, and the Bigfoot too, you'd better watch out where you're going, golly gobbler might get you. You can run, but you can't hide from this weird and wonderful life.